Just because everyone should see the banter that we have to endure just to be together. That's it. How's the ring light and microphone going, Mark?
Look at me with a little microphone on.
Mark's gone.
The only thing, I can't wear my glasses because the ring kind of obscures my eyes in the glasses.
Basically, you see nothing. You see nothing.
I'm a blur.
It's all right. That's how I feel about life. So,
Mark, I remember you when you were just an up and coming rookie. And now look at you.
Like I said, I go back to my previous statement. You make me feel
on
sick.
mics, ring lights, whatever one of those is.
That's what they do on TikTok. I've been learning. You've got to have a ring light if you want to be on TikTok.
Really?
Oh, wow. That's probably why I've been terrible at it. There's no ring light here. There's a blurred background.
It only cost me about 20. What was it? £10 from Amazon.
Well, that's not bad, is it?
No, but it barely stands up. It falls over all the time. It's terrible.
I know the feeling.
3-star rating.
I'm quite big on MySpace.
Oh yeah. How old is MySpace?
I
It's
love
not a thing anymore.
I didn't think so. I remember MySpace. That definitely one for the golden oldies, us golden oldies.
Golden oldies.
You won't get away with a ring light on MySpace.
No.
They'll run you out of town.
You didn't need a ring light on MySpace.
It was hardcore on MySpace.
I know, you were in with the crowd. Did you have MySpace? Did you have MySpace, Sarah? Or are we just too old for you? Oh, you did.
And I remember I had a song, and it was the Kooks. I can't remember which one.
I'm disappointed you're not going to sing it, if I'm honest.
I can't remember which one it was.
That's right. You had to put a song in the background, didn't you?
Yeah.
When you. That's right.
It was great. You had a song that was attached to your page and everything. It was fun.
And you spent ages choosing it, didn't you? It's
Yeah.
like, no, that doesn't. That comes over a bit depressing, or that's a bit.
Yeah.
That's me. That's
But say me quite as well as it should do.
Yeah. Obviously, Mark could be like full on Mariah Carey.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Bit
of Prince in there, bit of Prince.
I was going to say, I Always Love You. That was Whitney Houston. Whoops. Mariah Carey. Sing me a song, Mark, of Mariah Carey.
Oh my gosh. You're my fantasy. I'm just making up the tune, but I know it was called Fantasy.
Okay. Now, I hope you appreciate that.
Yeah. I'm so into you.
That was a great song.
I don't want a lot for Christmas.
Of course.
Of course.
That one.
Too early.
It's not too early. Christmas 365, Chris.
You watched a film on the Christmas channel already? On the Christmas
Not yet. I told my daughter she has to wait until after Halloween.
Yeah.
She did say the other day,
yeah, that's
movies. I said, just wait, Halloween, after Halloween, I'm all in. I'm all in after Halloween. Don't merge the holidays. It will confuse my brain.
Yeah. Everything in its place. I still say bonfire as well. Halloween, bonfire, and then we can start the slow progression into Christmas. Yeah.
No merging holidays unless you're Jack Skellington. Then you can get away.
This is Halloween.
That like bridges the gap, doesn't it? It's like
that's such a great movie.
I always watch the day after Halloween, because it's kind of like Halloween's gone, Christmas is coming, so breaks you in gently kind of thing. Anyway,
I don't recognise Chris when he's not breaking up.
Oh yeah, mention that, won't you? Get that one in early.
Just go.
Just because you're going to regret this now. I'm not going to shut up for the whole 30 minutes.
Oh, good.
Bring it. Challenge accepted, Chris. Do it.
I'll tell you what, it's because I tried it on my phone last time.
Yeah.
I was lazy. I thought, I'll just put it on the phone, and how hard can it be? I just prop it up. But apparently phones don't have enough oomph to cope with the four of us.
Yeah.
It was Mark broke it because it was too close. Phone couldn't cope.
My phone is sitting beautifully within my ring light at the moment.
Excuse me.
Pretty.
I'd get yourself to A&E.
Ring light.
Oh, sorry. Right, sorry.
Got one of those little things that you put the phone into on it.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah,
sorry. I've got a mental image there that completely different. A phone. Yeah, let's not go there. Anyway, kids go.
Yes.
Yeah. Sarah, would you like to start us off?
Hey, yes, I will.
Have we not started yet? I thought that was it.
It is. We normally start. Welcome to HB Publishing House, and this is our podcast with the wonderful Chris White and Mark Bird, illustrator and author extraordinaire. But we started beforehand, and I love this because it's all going in.
Is it?
Shall I officially do an opening? Yeah.
Wait, hang on. I'll stop sipping wine. Go.
Have you got wine? I love that.
I've got wine because I am not in a good place right now, and wine is like my therapy. So
do I talk about it? Should we take this half an hour to?
I would, but it would take more than half an hour, and I don't really want to cry again. So it's just been really bad my end. So I'm just gonna smile and nod past through this. I mean, this morning I texted Sarah and did say I don't think I'm gonna make it. So, but I've drank like 2 glasses of wine. I'm all right now. Again, wine is therapy. Thank you. I need it. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's just been a bad few weeks. I think it will continue, but it's okay because you know what? Wine is my best friend. Anyway, one more sip and then introduce it.
Yep. You ready?
All right, let's get the wine tash off. Let's go. I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to HB Publishing House's podcast. And we are here today to celebrate this wonderful book, The Klangaroo, by our very own Mark Bird and Chris White. Fabulous.
I'll clap and then I'll sign language clap for you.
Yeah, fabulous. Thank you so much for that. We are so in love with this book. So in love. When me and Katie first got this book through our inbox, I
cried with tears of joy rather than tears of sadness. So we're on a win already.
Yes, we absolutely loved it from the instant we saw it, and now here it is, fully fledged in all its glory, and we just absolutely adore all of it. So, there's the copy right there.
And if you haven't bought one yet, what are you waiting for? If you need a good book to read to your children at night, a little bit of a giggle, it's definitely the one to read. It is the bedtime reader, top 3.
Oh, it is.
Awesome. I was going to say the first, but I think we'll go with top 3 because I want to say probably J.K. Rowling's at top 1 or 2. But 3, if you're in 3, if you grew up in the age that we did, 3 was the magic number. So we're winning.
Nobody wants a number 1. Everybody wants a number 3. Nobody wants a number 1.
No, who wants a number 1? It's forgettable. A number 3, it's like that. You know, you put it on the back burner, but it always wins. You know, like the snail. What was it? The fox and the was it? It was the fox and the snail, wasn't it?
Well, the hare
and the fox. No, wait, no, it is the hare.
The hedgehog and the dragonfly.
Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah.
You bet on the fastest, but it's the slow burn that wins the race.
Yes.
I want to know from you, Mark. Let's start with you. Where did inspiration for this little fabulous beauty come from?
Well, you know, I just love playing with words, and I was thinking about different names of animals, and it was that simple. I thought, elephant, smell-elephant. Well, that's been done a million times before. And I stumbled upon kangaroo, Klangaroo, and I thought, Klangaroo? Well, you know, how does a kangaroo clang? And it started off as a very different story where there was this, it's a terrible story. It was a kangaroo that was locked in a cage in a closed down zoo, and this little girl found the kangaroo that was clanging against the bars, and I thought, this is not going to work. But I did like the idea of the Klangaroo, and I thought, how can I make a kangaroo clang? And that's when I came up with the idea of the kangaroo obviously being a robot, because robots clang, you know?
Yeah. And I love that. Like, I know obviously, Mark, as well, you understand with school and things, like you talk to your kids about in the class of, actually, this is your first draft and we're going to edit it. And, you know, with all authors, what the beginning story looked like isn't necessarily the book that ends up in here, the story that ends up inside the book. And that's just a perfect example right there of a book just completely evolving itself into what it should be in the end, which is fab.
Yeah, I just went with it in the end, and I thought, a robot. I mean, kids love robots.
Yeah, they do.
That any animals whatever, but they love robots, and I thought, oh, well, who's heard of a robotic kangaroo? A kangaroo? I keep saying kangaroo because I'm obsessed with the kangaroo, but the kangaroo became a robot, you know, and that's I thought.
A question for you, Mark, if you don't mind.
What?
Question for you, right? You know when you started writing it?
Yeah.
Did you know where it was going?
No, never. I read an interview recently about an author that somebody couldn't believe that when this author starts writing, they don't know where the story's going to go. That's the only way I write. I never have an idea. I never plan it out.
I mean, you can tell.
I just start and then see where it goes. And you go down lots of avenues which are pretty rubbish, but you kind of rescue it and try again. And I never have an idea where it's going.
And do you know when to stop? Do you
Well,
know
I don't think I used to know when to stop in many ways. But
I'm talking about writing book. I'm not in like all of it. Yeah.
With the book, I finally realized, I knew when to stop, and you've got to have a good ending, and it's got to end where it begins where it ends, and you just get better at those things the more you try to write those things. So,
are you tempted to like push it a little bit further? You get to a finish, you think, oh, I'll just add a bit more on.
Yes, and then you think, no, that's greedy, and also you're just trying too hard, so just let it be. Leave it where it is.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot.
And I'm going to throw that same question back at you, Chris, because obviously once Mark had finished it, you already knew each other, and he came to you and went, I want you to illustrate this. Do you know where you're heading when you start your illustrations? Do you have an idea in your mind, or does it just kind of happen as you put pen to paper?
I said, Mark, I'm not going to do this because no publishing house in their right mind would touch this with a barge pole. A robotic kangaroo, just nobody. No, I didn't really. Well, I was thinking about this earlier, actually, and what I did with that, which I very, very rarely do, when I've been lucky enough to illustrate other books, I think I read through it once and then just got drawing. I did not plan it out at all. I just took every 4, 6, 8 lines or whatever, and just whatever popped in my head, drew it without really thinking what the next page would be. Just kind of going, on feel and kind of how it, because a lot of books, obviously, so every book's different, but you have to plan out, what picture's going to go where. But with this, it was very organic. That it's just because it's such a fun story and there's so many potential illustrations in there. It was just like, right, read a few lines, bang, it's in your head, off you go, and then we knew it. You kind of at the end of the book. I was a bit disappointed, to be honest. It's like, oh, that's it. Right, I want to do some more. It was very much kind of just like do it and not really think about it too much kind of thing, which I guess the best things happen like that.
Yeah, and yet you wouldn't know it necessarily to look at your illustrations because they've got so much detail in them.
Well, that's very kind of you. Yeah. I think because, like I say, there's so many kind of fun ideas and different words and characters and all that kind of thing that I wanted to cram everything in because everything got in there and nothing was missed, so.
Yeah. And I think that's just like, it was a marriage made in heaven, like your book and your illustrations, because the words and then your pictures just brought it all to life. I think one of my favorite characters is the fat fish. We need to give a shout out to the fat fish. And it does things, right?
And the lady with the beard. Oh my goodness. Who writes about the lady with the beard? I was like, this is revolutionary.
And the poor pig. Everyone seems to feel sorry for the poor pig that never got sold.
Poor pig as well, that's true. But like that's what I mean. Like there's so many like side characters that do these like wild, wacky things in the words, and then they're brought to life in your illustrations. I mean, it's just brilliant. So how did you two meet? Let's have some backstory.
It was the best thing ever. It was really when I'd stopped writing for about 11 years, and I wrote this story called Halloween Date from Hell, and it got into a Brian Moses anthology, and it was the first thing that I thought, oh,
would it be this one?
That's the one. And bless him, that beautiful man there, Chris White, for no other reason than kindness, drew an image of it and put it on Twitter, Twitter. And I was like, oh my gosh, look how it looks in a picture.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was the beginning of it, you know.
Wow.
So,
I can add a bit to that, actually, because I was thinking about this earlier, that I also sent a couple of poems in for this. And in my head, I thought, oh, it sounds a great book, you know, funny poems for kids. It's going to be bright and breezy and wonderful. So I did some illustrations for my poems. I thought, brilliant. I didn't realise there are absolutely zero illustrations in any of this book. No one's watching this, are they? Brian Moses. It's the dullest book. There's nothing. Look, it's just there's nothing in there.
yeah.
I think out of frustration, I'm thinking your poem, Mark, it deserves an illustration. So I think that's where it came from. I thought I need to. These poems deserve illustrations, but they didn't get them.
Yeah. It was a beautiful moment for me. I know.
Yeah.
I'm over exaggerating that. It was a beautiful moment when I saw that on Twitter and thought, oh my gosh, this Chris White man has obviously been a little bit inspired enough to picture of this poem I've written. It was gorgeous. It was a very special moment for me.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's a beautiful story. I think, you know, over social media, I think, you know, they talk about all the negatives that are there, but there's so many positives. Like because of that, because of Twitter X, you know, this is like the reason why you collaborated. And I think, you know, big shout out to social media when it is positive, because you do hear a lot of negative about it, don't you? And you know, how did you do it? Social media.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, think of, you know, how great social and how kind and lovely and generous you can be on social media. Think of that, my friends, when you're watching this later and comment underneath this video.
Only positive comments, honestly. Even if you do not like something, I read something really lovely a couple of months ago about when people write stories and illustrate books, whether you like the book or not, it's a 3-star. It's a 3-star because they have spent that time, they have got their work out there, and they have took that effort to show the world what they can do. Doesn't matter if you like it or you don't, it's a minimum 3-star. And I thought, you know what? You're right, because it takes a lot of time, effort, and a lot of your, I don't want to say it, but it's like a lot of your soul goes into that. A lot of love, a lot of pain, a lot of tears. And it's like, yeah, it is a minimum of 3 stars, regardless of whether you like it or not, because it takes a lot. And I think people sometimes don't realize that. So minimum 3 stars, maximum always 5 stars. 5 stars all the time, obviously. But I thought that was quite nice. You know,
I agree.
if you're giving 1 stars, I'm sorry, why? If you're feeling sad about something, let's chat about it. You don't need to 1 star.
Might not be your cup of tea. It's just not for you, you know.
Exactly, but 3-star it anyway, because you know you don't like it. Great, that's fine. Pick another book. It's okay. But if you 1-star me, let's chat. What's happening right now? Do we need to chat about this? Because it's not my book that's upset you. You obviously something else is happening. Let's chat. Well, you know, we're friends here.
Yeah, and there's got to be something good in there, you know.
Even fat fish.
It's got enough fat fish in it, so that's 4 stars right there.
RSPCA that, because you know the pig.
If all I'd written was blah 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 blah, and Chris had done the pictures, that in itself is 4 stars. I'm sorry, forget the words I've written.
3-star minimum.
4 stars.
4-star minimum.
I told you.
5-star.
I told you the other day about this. Sorry, about this parent that got in touch with me just out of the blue. And she said, and I sometimes think, is it too complex for 4-year-olds or whatever? I don't know. I'm always doubting myself. And this parent got in touch with me the other week. I posted it, and she just said, my 4-year-old makes me read this story every single night, makes me make the Klangaroo out of magnets. I'm not even sure how you do that. And I'm obsessed with now creating, which Chris illustrated in the book, the remote control that Dr. Try used to make the Klangaroo work. She was obsessed with it. I mean, the boy was obsessed with it. And it was beautiful to hear that. Beautiful.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I think you can underestimate, can't you, how much younger children can get out of books. Feel your book is maybe kind of aiming at slightly older, even though it's still a picture book. So I think the Klangaroo, like, You could read this through any age primary school and you'd love it. It's so
my
good.
9-year-old loves it, so she reads it quite a lot. When we got the hardback cover, I haven't seen it since because it is in her room where she will just get it out and read it. So you can read it out. 4-year-old, the 4-year-old read it on her own with the 9-year-old because she loves it.
Yeah, I've had to speak girls reading 10 and she's 3.
All ages.
Well, I'm not giving up. I am not.
Don't ever give up.
I could see this on CBeebies bedtime story. It'd be amazing.
I know. I really think it would be.
Especially with your ring.
Stylish, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, with you there, Mark, ring light, clip mic, you see BBC right there.
Don't even tell me. My children in nursery the other day were calling me Mr. Tumnus, and I was like, "That's enough now. That's enough."
Are you a fawn? There's something you're not telling me right now?
I did put some red paint on my nose, and
can we see your legs?
No, I thought you said Mr. Tumnus.
Oh, not Mr. Tumnus. Who's the guy from the BBC?
Mr. Tumble.
Yeah, Mr. Tumble.
Mr. Tumble. That's
Mr. Tumble. Like, you mean Mr. Tumble? Mr. Tumble. Mr. Tumble.
Oh, Tumble. Right. So
I've got mixed up. Sorry about that.
It's all right. I appreciate C.S. Lewis reference anyway.
What if I had?
I thought you said Mr. Topless for a minute. I mean, that's a whole different channel.
I think that is a whole different channel, but I would also like to see it as well.
Yes. Come on. But where would you clip your mic?
Oh, chest hair. Moustache. Ear. Hair.
No.
Oh, no.
Nose hair.
Oh,
Oh.
So let everyone know what is the plan for the future. So what have you got going on at the moment? I know obviously, Mark, you full-time teaching here, but what is in store for you in the future?
Well, I've had a few. I've just had a poem published in Anna Sampson's Heroes and Villains, which was illustrated by Chris Riddell. I've just made a video of that. It's about the inception of Halloween. It's called A Wannagat, which I'm really pleased about. But I've always got things in the pipeline. I'm always writing.
Well, your fingers in the pies, Mark. That's what you do. And there's nothing wrong with that because then you get a lot more experiences and things going. Oh, look, there's Flo.
You got to put yourself out there.
Because this is Chris, and he draws pictures. Would you like to show Chris your picture that you've been drawing?
See what you've done. Oh, that's cool.
Wow. Chris,
Flo, do you want to illustrate Mark's next book?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What about you, Chris? What's in the pipeline for you in the future? What have you got going on? Obviously, you did the awesomeness of illustrating Hazel Knox's book, The Night Pixie.
That was fun to do that. What am I doing at the moment? I'm recovering from. I've just done a blistering tour round our fair country, visiting schools from Bradford to Portsmouth, then Birmingham to Warrington and Leeds and somewhere I don't even know where it was. It was like somewhere near London, and so it was because it was it National Poetry Day or World Poetry Day or some poetry day, which spread into like World Poetry Fortnight. So I've been round all sorts of schools and like talking to all sorts of children and getting them to be creative and writing poems and drawing pictures like that one there. Well, not as awesome as that one there. I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing.
What's so amazing is the one behind you as well. Look, the Klangaroo behind you.
Wow. Before we recorded this, I wanted to see if I could remember how to draw it.
So you just drew that a minute ago, just like freehand.
I was trying to do it without looking at the cover or anything and seeing if I could remember. And I think
Florence, story.
Just to prove it was actually me that did it.
Yeah, that's the wrong answer right now. Do you like this story?
No. The next week I'm going to be lying down in a dark room to recover from travelling around this fair country of ours. And I've got a few irons in a few fires that could do with burning a bit brighter than they are, but who one of them may spontaneously lost.
Wow. Well, Chris, even though you have been amazing and illustrated the Klangaroo, you also audio narrated the Klangaroo. So if you haven't listened to that, it is available on Audible. So please do go and listen to it, because I think the sound effects and Chris's voice really bring Mark's book to absolute life and then some more. It is one of the most funniest, I think, book I have edited and put onto Audible, because it's just got it just complements your bookmark beautifully.
It was good fun to do that. Did you see the review? Somebody said, I read a review of it, and they said that there was some lady in Ohio or somewhere in America. It was Ontario or Oreo. I don't know. It was somewhere anyway.
Ontario is Canada, so completely different country. But I want Oreo. Oreo sounds great.
I'd like to live in Oreo land.
I would love to live in Oreo land with a glass of wine.
She said that they'd put it on in the car as the kids were going to school, and they had it on about 4 or 5 times going and 4 or 5 times coming back.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's like, and like Mark was saying about, you know, the 4-year-old kid just wanted it read again and again and again. How bizarre is it to think there's somebody in the middle of America somewhere taking their child to school?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
My voice first thing in the morning.
I love that. I didn't know that. That's
Set them up for the day.
Yeah, and you know, and then they're straight back. Did you have a good day? Did you have a good day at school, kiddo? And they say, yeah, let's pop the Klangaroo on again, you know, as we go home.
It's a fantastic audio book. Honestly, I think it's so well, I don't want to say underrated, because that's but it's just undervalued at the moment. So if you haven't and you do have Audible, please do go and download it, and then obviously go and buy the book, because you do want the pictures with it, because that also brings it to life with all its color. It is the most randomest, fantastic book I have ever read. It makes no sense and complete sense at the same time.
Yeah.
Hey, before you go, please let us know what is your favorite picture or sentence in the book. I'll start with you, Sarah, because I know you've got the book in front of you. So.
I know, but I need to have Mark read a bit. I need to hear him read a little bit.
I love
your favorite page then, Mark. Go for it.
Just looking, I think it's got to be, because I think it's a bit Python-esque with the girl with the beard. A small girl rudely jeered, "Kangaroo, you're so weird," as she twirled her moustache and caressed her long beard. And I just love her. Look at her. You know, I just love her. And in the end, she loves the Klangaroo too. You know, I love it. Yeah.
She does. What about you, Chris? What's your favorite illustration or maybe a part of the book?
My favorite illustration actually is this one, and it's a bit hard to describe why, because it's not the most striking, and I don't think it's even the best one. But it just gave me the most. Sometimes, it's hard to explain. When you draw something, you think like, oh, it's like, I guess it's like when you write something as well. You think, oh, it's close. It's so close, but it's not quite. You know, it's good. I like it, but it's just missing a certain something. Then sometimes I'll draw something and I think, yes.
I mean, that's how I look on the morning run.
I think it's I don't know. There's just sometimes I think, yes. You know, all those times you're thinking, I'm no good at this. I can't do it. And then occasionally, just once in a while, you get one. Yes, I'm back. I can do it. So yeah, for that one, for some, it's not even the most striking one in the book, but it's just the one that gave me the most pleasure after I'd done it.
And what about you, Sarah?
Word-wise, word-wise, I love them all.
Oh, fair play.
I really like Fat Fish on this page.
Oh, yeah. I love it when he's taking her for a walk, or they them for a walk. I don't know if we're gender neutral. I love that. Let's just take Fat Fish for a walk. It's like, can you do that?
Yeah.
Just take me for a walk. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Don't buy this for your Christmas presents. It's Christmas.
Yeah. Great stocking filler, or if you know, on the way to school, like Chris said, downloading the Audible book, just all the way there and back will get your kids ready and raring to start your school day, and you're welcome. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we love you all. Bye.
Bye.